after my mom passed, I had this crazy like breakdown with my brother where I was like, yo, do I even do mom even think I was cool? I mean, I feel like I didn't make my mom proud.
I feel like most of us feel that way. We have to get over something a lot, and just letting you know it's okay to feel how you want to feel.
It was a lot. I wasn't really chatting that much. Like, I cried with my family. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it was like I dealt with it at that time, and then I moved on because I was like, I have responsibilities. I have stuff to do. Damn, like I need to figure out like how to focus on the positive things in my life. I used to think I wasn't that good of a guy. I used to think like I used to have self-esteem issues. I used to feel like I was weird because I wasn't fitting in and because like I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. Are you happy with yourself? Like, are you happy with the man you are right now? Like, are you confident in the man you are every day when you wake up?
Welcome to the SaintPod.
Who we got in the building today?
My name is Moody56k. I'm a artist, producer, skateboarder, love spreader, be a self enthusiast. Overall, just a chill guy.
Nah, real, bro. I feel like when Luna sent your profile over, that's our guest coordinator. She in the back. Say what's up, Brody. I feel like when she sent your profile over, I feel like you got a really genuine page, and it's a page where I feel like you weren't trying to impress anybody. I just want to say, what makes you so different from the crowd of the rappers in Philly and just the producers in Philly and everything?
So I'm not necessarily on a like, oh, I'm doing pills, I'm shooting people. It's mostly just traveling, skating, um, being kind, spreading love. Just regular like, not trying to do what everybody else is doing. And I also try to make sure I have a good relationship with my artists. I try and, sit down with them and say, yo, like, how can I accommodate to you? If I do something that you don't like, let me know. And the same thing when it comes to them.
Yeah.
And I try and just, I came up already like I was a skateboarder.
Yeah.
People was already laughing at me for certain stuff when I was coming up like that. So it's already natural for me to not want to fit in.
Right.
So I think as I just grew, I got closer to the idea of wanting to separate myself from everybody.
For sure, bro. You sound like a very multifaceted person, doing a lot of things. What was your first love?
Definitely skateboarding for sure. I've been skating since I was 11. I'm 26 now, so I owe my life to skateboarding. Skateboarding owes me nothing.
That's tough, bro. Why'd you start skating?
So I was doing a lot of random stuff, like just being a boy. Like I was riding BMX bikes. Like I had a ripstick, and after I had got the ripstick, I was like, nah, this wasn't cool. But I was always like wanting to do stuff with my hands. So I was always like fixing old phones for my mom, like, oh, why the phone won't cut back on, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I was really young, I was like, oh, like I want to try and learn how to make a skateboard, but it's not optimal for a 11-year-old boy to try and make a skateboard on his own. Like I don't have no power tools or no molds or nothing like that. So I had told my dad, I was like, yo, like I want a skateboard. Da, da, da. He was like, all right, like I'll take you to the place. And he took me and got my first board, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, you said that. I don't know if you said it on the pod, but outside of the pod, we had a conversation about how skateboarding saved your life. You want to talk about that a little bit?
So it wasn't really like I wasn't doing nothing crazy, but like coming up, I was seeing like people on the corner selling drugs. I'm seeing people, young with guns. Like, I went to Overbrook High School, so
Right.
I'm seeing people like outside getting into shit as soon as they get out of school, and just like seeing corn. Like I don't even want to say corny people, but bad role models.
Yeah.
So it really just kept me out of trouble. Like it kept me around good people. It gave me a sense of community early on. And it was something for me to do. And I always say like it saved my life because all of my closest friends have been from skateboarding. All of my me being around certain people because I was a skateboarder made me meet some of the most important people in my life. Like literally I can name so many people, but because of that community, because of just that piece of wood with four wheels, I really have like a solid group of friends and a solid family base and a solid um community, like, and that was just like my first sense of community. So
I fuck with
just
that, bro.
forever thankful for
I fuck with
skateboarding.
that, bro.
Shout out to my one homie. He from Allegheny, and we always used to talk about how, like, you mean, people would give him a hard time for wearing skinny jeans and
Yeah,
holes in the sneakers and being like, "Oh, you on some white bullshit?" Like, and I kind of came up that same way. Like, people
yeah,
like, you mean, my dreams of skateboarding was kind of crushed early because everybody was like, "Oh, like, black people don't make no real money
yeah,
from skateboarding, and you need to have a plan B." So, like,
yeah.
yeah,
No, for sure, bro. I feel like I agree with you too. We live in a city where negativity is thrived upon. You feel me? And I feel like the way I live my life, I feel like you probably relate. It kind of felt like I was in my own bubble.
yeah.
I was into shit like parkour and just like I was just
Exactly,
doing
bro. Just
shit.
trying to find
Yeah,
your
yeah,
lane.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I,
just
I
doing
get
shit.
it, bro. You mean, I
Um,
probably jumped over a couple rocks as a
Real
young boy
shit like
too,
game.
trying.
Like I dive hard into gaming and shit like that. I feel like people that do that like us, we kind of did it for a survival need base. Even though you might not feel like that,
Mhm.
I didn't feel like I fit in, right? So I feel like I kind of had to create a world around me. You know what I'm saying? And whoever entered that world, they entered that world. But I think you are right when you said it saved your life because I grew up the same place as some of my counterparts, but they're not here no more. You
True.
know what I'm saying, bro? And how do you think that affected you? Like you that difference between you living your life and you living good, you getting smart, you made it this far, and seeing your counterparts go a different direction.
Um, I don't know, cause necessarily I didn't have nobody who like went like no crazy route because of maybe they didn't like, I don't know, maybe they gave skateboarding up or something like that.
Yeah,
But
and I don't mean your friends. I just mean like just people in general. Like
people in
people in
general,
general. Just like I feel like Philly is just like a real like negative place. I'm not saying they had to end up in jail or anything like that.
true.
What I'm saying is just
People in general.
fed upon that negative energy and they continue that down that road.
I don't know, bro, because that's not necessarily me. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah,
like, I don't, like, I don't know. I came up, like, I used to thrive on negativity. Like, if we
yeah,
gonna put myself in that bubble, like, there's been moments where I've been like, oh, yeah, I got all of this nut shit going on in my
yeah.
life. And I'm like, life is just gonna continue to be corny. But, like, um, I wasn't always, like, a super positive guy, but
Right.
I have had, um, it's generally just like it's generally just sad just because like I feel like I kind of don't understand that, like I don't
Mhm.
understand, but everybody has traumas and things that they
For
go
sure.
through that put them on a certain path, and sometimes they can't control that. You mean, when people got traumas and then like, okay, people is doing drugs and you witnessing certain things in your life, it certain things you can't necessarily have no judgment on what people's path
For
is
sure.
going down because they all got certain lives, and all you could do is just pray and hope for the best for people. But I try and not let it like distract me, like, and the whole reason some people will tell you like, Moody, he wasn't always a super positive guy. I am a very super positive guy. Like, I
Right.
am like toxically positive. So
Toxically positive.
people like, I got here just literally because one of my friends was like, "Yo, you got to get your act together, bro. Like, you be having good days and then you go home and then you complain and like you super sad. Like, a lot of this shit is in your control, bro. Until like you get your act together on until you get your act together on like find your true happiness, like we not really gonna be able to be friends no more." And
Damn.
shout out to Shamaya. I don't know if
Yeah.
she gonna see this, but
That's
shout out to
tough.
Shamaya. I literally woke up the next day and was like, damn, like I need to figure out like how to focus on the positive things in my life. And really, because of that interaction I had with my one friend, it ultimately made me the man I am today. And obviously it's a lot of things that
Yeah.
affected me in that, but um I'm thankful for the man I am today
For
because
sure.
of that interaction and the other things that have added to me being a general good person.
If we can dive deeper into that a little bit, so you had that conversation with your friends. How old are you with them?
Um, damn, maybe I had to be like 14 maybe
All right. Yeah,
15.
so he's real young. But
So
like,
yeah, this is early.
what things did you do to, I guess, make your mindset more positive?
Um, it all comes down to focus, bro. Like if you I don't like to like make it seem like that guy where I'm like, oh, certain people like don't have the choice because everybody's brain is different. That's why depression is different for
Yeah.
for everybody. But it was mostly just what I chose to focus on that was important to me, or always look at the better half of whatever is going on. Like glass
Yeah.
always half full. Like I started to just say, you know, affirmations like I am a good person, like today is going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Be kind to my community, hold the door for people.
That's very
It
true.
really just like starts with you, like just like telling yourself good things, especially like if you're in the routine of like verbally self-sabotaging yourself. Like I used to be that way. I used to think I wasn't that good of a guy. I used to think like I used to have self-esteem issues. I used to um feel like I was weird because I wasn't fitting in and because like I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. But at the end of the day, like you said, when you make that world, bro, when you just like, okay, these are the things that I like to do, like I'm gonna choose to focus on this, like it all just comes down to you at the end of the day. And it's gonna be difficult. I tell this to people all the time. Like I did just wake up this way, but after I woke up like that, I put in practice to make sure that this became who I wanted to be.
Yeah, I think you're entering a conversation where you're talking about manifesting your reality and making your own reality. And I feel like here's like a thing I like to say too. People that don't really understand how you can create your own reality.
Mhm.
They tell NASCAR racers to never look at the barriers when you're racing, because most times when people are scared and are driving in a car, they might try to look at it so they know where it's at.
Right.
But you're going to crash into the barriers because that's all you're focusing on.
Yeah, right. You going to
You feel
where
me?
you look is where you go.
Yeah. Another thing is just like if you got a new car or you want a new car, you've been thinking about it so much and you start to see it, you know, like confirmation bias, like you start to see it all the time. And that's how we create our own reality. You think, was there more cars being made? No,
Right.
you started seeing them because you started to be aware of it. So I think that what you're saying, like focusing and telling yourself and just being the better person, opening the doors. It's really the small shit too, bro.
Literally.
But I honestly feel like in Philly, it's very hard to keep that type of nature in you, because I feel like I'm that way. I'm a person with a lot of manners everywhere I go, and it's not always respected or reciprocated, right? You know, I'll say what's up to somebody in the store, they'll just look
Yeah,
at me
they'll
like
just be
crazy.
like, or they'll just be like, I don't
so,
know this
so
guy.
niggas be rude as shit to me. I don't
Yo,
do
on a
nothing.
day, I
You
get it,
feel me?
bro. I get it.
So how do you keep this type of persona within you?
I never take it personal. Like I never take it personal, and you really have to wake up and choose to be this way. Like,
Right.
so that's kind of what keeps me going. And even if somebody is like, you know, I'm a human being too, bro. I get angry. Like sometimes you might just have to tape my buttons down for me to get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when people are like at work and they do something, I'm just like, it's okay. Like I don't hold on to that energy. Like, and that's not me. Like I try and think about it, even if I'm stepping outside of the situation where I'm looking at it from a third party perspective, where I'm looking at me and then I'm looking at the other person. Like it's not easy, but it's all up to you to choose to wake up and do
Definitely.
and be that person, and like try not to hold on to that negative energy. Just, you know, people
Yeah.
going through their own things, sometimes they take it out on them because it's situational. You know, I watch
Yeah.
people spend thousands of dollars every day, and some of those people will like hand you the card like this because they don't care, and then some people will hand you the card and then they'll be like, I didn't know, or you mean,
Yeah.
like I just try not to hold on to that. Like all of that is outside of me. And sometimes once you understand like all of that is outside of you, then like you try not to take it personal and you try to make sure you like, okay, well, that wasn't me, so I'm gonna
I
or
fuck with
that's
that.
not me. So
I fuck with that.
I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, bro. That's a really strong point. I was going to say something similar. Another thing I really try to put in perspective too, because listen, I struggle with that shit, yo. I walked into a Jamaican store one time, bro.
That's where
Them
you fail.
niggas, them niggas fried me.
That's where you fail.
Yo, I walked to a Jamaican store. I'm like, yo, what's up, whatever. I'm like, how you doing? No real response. He talking about what do you say?
Are they like back there? Like, are they busy? Like, is
No,
it their,
no, no.
so
This
they
shit
got free
clear.
time.
They chilling, right?
Okay, all right.
So it's his bull, right? And I'm talking about. Oh, I want it was like a fish play or some shit like that, right? And it was like I don't know, some type of seafood shit. And he was like, oh, no more fish. So I'm like, oh, all right. Like, I get a shrimp, John. He told me something. You're looking dead in my face, bro. He was like, are you crazy? I just said no more seafood.
You said no more fish.
No, and I don't remember exactly what he said, bro, because I just blacked out at that point. But like, he said some crazy, like he was just being disrespectful. You feel me? And I'm not an angry person. Like, I think if anything, I lack anger. That shit fried me. I was already having a bad day, bro.
I feel you.
I was trying to get some food and shit
you.
like that, bro. But in those times where we struggle with, keeping it together and shit like that, like, what do you say to yourself to remind yourself, like, yo, like, let it go?
Yo, and it's crazy because when you said that, I'm like, yo, I definitely have been in some situations where I'm like, yo, I should have let my anger get the best of me.
Yeah.
Like, I should have reacted out of character, but it's also important as a man to be able to have control over yourself in those intense situations. So man, that shit just made me start thinking about moments where I'm like, yo, I kept it like, what have I said to myself? Like, when I have been in those situations, like,
I always like to say this too. Like, I feel like they're dealing with themselves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like everybody always got something going on, but I think I'll use this as an example. The moment that I'm thinking about, I guess when all that went down, I was like, you know what? He got his own issues. Like, he got his own issues. He probably need like mental health stuff going on. And like, once I start like receiving more information about the quality of person that they were, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I can see why they did X, Y, and Z. But sometimes, like, just because like somebody is doing something to you, don't mean you should give them that mirrored reaction. Like you said, like some people is dealing with their own stuff, like, and that shit is outside of you, bro. That shit is above you. Like, it's not really nothing that you could do when people are going through their own foolish stuff. Sometimes you just gotta like nod and smile. I think I do that a lot. Like, one thing I learned at work is that was like, yo, if people be snapping, like, just like don't say nothing. So I probably found myself being quiet a lot of times when like intense situations is going down because I'm doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
To like not necessarily make sure I don't do the wrong thing, but just to make sure that I make the right decision.
Right. And I think that's also protecting your peace at the same time because everything is an energy exchange, you feel me? So if you feeding somebody energy, you letting them win at the same time.
Exactly. Like,
and that's why I tell people too, a lot of people think that you turn into this villain character because the world is treating you a certain kind of way, makes you think that you're winning, and the whole time you change yourself for the world.
Yeah, bro. It's sometimes like people be having like ego. Like, I try and see myself as a little selfless because everybody got their own mission. Like, everything don't have to do with me. So like, I kind of just like put it to that. Like, everybody got their own stuff going on. Like, you know, you can't always match people's energy. Like, some people feed off of that type of stuff. Like, when they got foolishness going on and they see a moment to get riled up, they like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for this. Like, even probably me and you probably felt that way. Like, when something happened to you, like, oh yeah, like, I'm sure you got a moment ready for when somebody rile you up. But like, it's not always necessary, and it ain't always a good outcome for matching that energy. So you always gotta, like you said, keep your peace in mind and just not even to say that, but like keep your freedom in mind. You know, like,
that's true.
It's foolishness go down like that. Like, it's easy for you to go to jail because like you wanted to have ego and like be the tough guy or whatever the case.
You don't want to be playing this system.
Like, I don't. It's cool. Like, and I was just at one of my homies' court cases, bro. So I don't Like I literally don't even want to see another courtroom ever again.
I feel you, bro.
Like so.
Some real shit. Damn, bro. Let's get into the music. Let's
Yeah,
talk about some music, bro. When did you start making music?
probably like 2016, 2017. I'm from Winfield, so and it would just be me, my brother. Shout out my brother Cipher, and shout out my brother Vision. It really would just be us, like on the porch. You mean we coming outside? He like, oh yeah, I can't do X, Y, and Z because I gotta feed my cat and nobody here. So we just gonna rap on the porch.
Yeah,
But Vision was really the rapper. Like Vision was really the rapper. Like so we would all like be on the porch. I mean, smoking, freestyling, and I wasn't really like the rapper. Like I wasn't really even
yeah,
making no music, but as we started hanging out more and like having this chemistry of like, okay, we freestyling and we having fun and we young. I'm probably like 16, 17 at the time.
right.
So I'm not like thinking about it necessarily, but all of that kind of changed once Vision was kind of like, yo, like you pretty good. But I always told him, I'm like, yo, you the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yo, you such a good rapper. Da, 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 da. Like I'm here, like I'm spending so much time with him. I know what his ability and his talent is. So when he started telling me that I was good enough or that I was talented, I'm like, well, maybe I should actually try. Like, maybe
Yeah,
I should actually like
yeah.
try and make some songs. And I remember like just downloading BandLab and being like, all right, like cool, like this
Right.
is all right. But I definitely had moments a little bit before that where I'm like, yeah, I'm about to try Audacity, and then that didn't work. And then I think later on, my
Audacity, my baby.
yo, Audacity is cool. Like, I feel like that's like stuff for y'all, like
Yeah,
podcast people. Like, but making music is not that good. But I say all that
yeah.
to say, like, I kind of found my path. Like, I start writing, and then I start trying to record myself because I guess originally I was like, I was coming up listening to like all of the cool people of like the 2020s, like
Mm,
right after that 2017 double XL freshman
right,
cover, I
right,
guess, with
right.
like Uzi and everybody. So I'm listening to Uzi, Cardi, Autumn, like all of these different people, and that kind of like helped me not like find some sort of direction, but like, I mean, I'm listening to a lot of Uzi, like,
Yeah,
oh, like this is great. It's a guy that looked like me. He talking
yeah.
about being loving and all of this
Mm,
other stuff. So after that, I start kind of just trying to find my way. I started like recording myself. I got the computer, and then I think later on in the year, my brother Ghost was like, "Yo, like we got a studio. You gotta come down." And this is like off of Temple's campus somewhere. So it was him, a couple of friends. He was like, "Yo, there's my studio room, whatever." So I remember like helping him put all of that together. But also, my brother Ghost was like one of the first people that was in my direct circle that was rapping. See, like he was already like maybe like by like 2015, he was already rapping, and they was already in like the Rage Lord Records
yeah.
collective. So I was already like going to their parties and shit like that. So
That's
I was
tough.
already going to the shows and all of that. Then I started making music, and then after that, man, I feel like it's just I'm thinking
No,
about
you
so many
good.
things. But
No, you good.
um yeah, pretty much after that, I started kind of staying there, and I was already going to shows and stuff like that. I was already making music a little bit, but by that time, um somebody had put torrent to FL Studio on my computer because I was using like some silly little digital audio workstation to make beats.
And for those that don't know that, what is that?
What FL Studio? Yeah, so FL Studio is just a digital audio workstation like Ableton or Pro Tools or Logic, GarageBand. It's just something that you can, produce music with. It's a software for
Mm,
that. So yeah, pretty much like that's how I started making beats. And then to backtrack a little bit, I always was like, oh, like I don't like some of these songs that was being made. And I was like, okay, well I could just make my own music. So that was another thing that was on top of like once I already started tinkering with stuff.
yeah,
And then pretty much like once I got FL Studio, like it was on.
for sure.
It was on from there. So
That's tough. Who inspires your music?
oh man, so many people. If we talk about early on, I think one of my earliest memories of hip hop is like being in the S95 Mustang with my cousin, listening to Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
very early on, like that's like my earliest music of memory. So I would say Wu-Tang Clan as far as new age people, Uzi, um, so many like Uzi, Autumn, like Philly Heads, like Jada Kiss.
Mm.
Um, it kind of switches, but mostly some of those people, Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of Lil Wayne early on. Um, and that's I probably would have to like think around
Yeah.
some more, but
No,
those are
no,
just definitely
I
some of
mean,
my
bro,
small inspirations. Like,
those are a lot, bro. And I heard you earlier saying how you feel like growing up, you felt weird or not confident and not fitting in. How did this translate to your music?
um, so I really just talk about a lot of like, dang, it's kind of strange because I never really thought about how it translated to my music because I don't think I'm necessarily like always talking about how I didn't fit in. I think I always talked about how I paved my lane
Mm.
in around the stuff I was in, like
Yeah.
literally marking that like verbatim. Like I always talk about paving a lane because I'm always talking about how like people are like whatever shooting people, and I'm like I'm not necessarily shooting
Yeah.
people, but it's cool to see like when people that like give praise to all like the trap rappers. You mean, and I'm not dissing
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
dissing no local trap
that's just
rappers,
not true.
no local trap rappers or nothing like that. But like when the people that give like the drill rappers like show me some love and being like, yeah, like you not on that same like you don't have that same connotation of music.
Yeah.
Like it gives me a little bit of something to feed off of because I also feel like sometimes I'm looking at myself and I'm like, damn, bro, like am I something that people can grasp onto, like because I'm not
Mm.
talking about the violence, I'm not talking about the drugs, I'm not talking about whatever
Yeah.
getting back and jumping out the van and all of that
Right.
stuff. Like
Right.
none of that shit resonated with me. I wasn't a super street kid, like you know what I mean. So
Do you have your answer?
what was the question again?
No, no, no. You asked this question saying, because like you said, you wasn't sure if that people could grasp your music
Mm-hmm.
enough because it's not talking about that. Um, do you feel like about your music? Do you feel like you have an audience that can garner that type of attention?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's for everybody that feel like they may not have. I feel like it's for anybody that feel like they may not have something to where as though they fit in. I don't necessarily talk about it, but hopefully, like people will
I'm not even just
grasp.
talking about that. I'm just talking about your music in general,
Hmm.
like because you're not talking about the drill shit, right? Like, do you feel like that impacts like the audience that you're trying to reach?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so because it's more the music than that.
for
Like it's
sure.
more the music than that, bro. I mean, everything is not about like violence. Like people can enjoy whatever, looking out the window of the plane and being able to make a correlation to me saying how I'm looking at the clouds or I'm like
Yeah,
finding peace and being myself and paving my own lane. It's
yeah,
a million people around the world that's trying to pave their own lane in an industry that may feel oversaturated.
for sure.
Um, so, but I do think that with me not talking about all of the other foolishness, like it's something that real that people can connect with, and it's something that people can resonate with. Cause it's like everybody, you know, doing all of the drill stuff is like cool now, but like it's people don't a lot of people don't resonate with that.
Yeah,
You know?
bro, and I feel like it's a trend, just like anything.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm like I wonder what would happen if I had this musical, like if I had a musical perspective that was that way. Because don't get me wrong, like you mean sometimes I may
Shit
talk
hot.
about weed or I
Yeah.
may talk about a gun or something like that, but it's not like me being like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, when I see you, I'm gonna do detrimental damage to you. Like
you funny as shit.
it's not that. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's just not it. But
And even going back to saying how you felt when you're growing up, do you still feel that way, or have you found confidence and are you secure? Like, tell me how you are honestly now.
um, You know what? I think I am secure now. Before, I never used to like pat myself on the back or being like, "Yo, you got it." But like sometimes I think I have it figured out. Like sometimes I think I have it figured
And
out.
when is before? Like how long ago was that?
Probably when I was like 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17 maybe. But
And
now like I think because after my mom passed, I had this crazy like breakdown with my brother where I was like, "Yo, do I even like? Do mom even think I was cool? Like, do my mom even think I was cool? Like, I was
yeah,
skateboarding, smoking weed, like
yeah,
making music. I'm like, you mean, am I even like? Is she even like happy with me in the sky right now?" But he kind of brought it to my attention that it's nothing that I could do about that now. Like, I can't
yeah.
I can't physically make her proud or nothing like that. I mean, it's not nothing I could do to try and be like, oh, like, give me validation, like, so
Yeah.
he just made it be like, listen, bro, are you happy with yourself? Like, are you happy with the man you are right now? Like, are you confident in the man you are every day when you wake up? And then that's when it really struck me. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a good person, bro. And then it was like, you know what? I am that nigga. Because
Yeah.
everybody always used to be like, yo, Moody, you're talented. Like, you good at what you do. And I always just be like, like I'm hard. Like, I never
Right.
was able to like toot my own horn or
Yeah.
nothing like that. Like, but now, like, I feel like after that breakdown, like, I kind of know my worth now. Like, I kind of like try to walk in places and being like, oh, like nothing never with no ego, but like act like I know myself, like
Right.
stand on my work, like stand on the type of person that I am wherever I'm at.
Act like you belong.
Yeah, like
I
so
fuck with that, bro. And I'm sorry to hear about your mom passing. How long ago was that?
that was like 4 years ago. So, but yeah, that was
I feel like that's fresh, bro. That's
I
a fresh
mean,
to me. How do you feel about it?
I feel like I definitely have my moments of like hills and valleys. Like you mean that was my mom, that was my dog.
For sure.
I spent all my life with her. I lived with my mom all of my life. You mean I took care of my mom the day up until the day before she passed away. You mean so um sometimes it feels strange, like you mean I still live in the same house and all of that, but
Yeah.
um I don't know. You mean that's my mom. I love her. You mean,
Sure.
but it's just like certain things I try not to let like I don't know. When you said it was fresh, it made me think about how like I felt at the time of when it happened. But I feel like I have had a lot of growth,
That's
But
beautiful.
you did put that into perspective for
That's
me.
beautiful.
It is pretty fresh. Like,
Yeah. I often say that too, just to remind people that it's okay to feel certain things. I think that we think sometimes pain is just you need to get over it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Where not trying to say how you feel, but I feel like most of us feel that way. We have to get over something a lot, and just letting you know it's okay to feel how you want to feel. How do you think that impacted you?
um, dude, it's so strange because it feels like I had so much responsibility at the time because I was taking care of my mom. But afterwards, it was just weird because of the absence.
Because
It
of the
was
what?
like her absence.
Oh yeah,
Like after she died, it was like, her husband had called me and was like, she passed. And it's crazy because, like I said, I was taking care of her right up until she passed. But the nurse was like, oh, like, we think we're going to take her back to the hospital. She needs professional care. And then the next day he had called me. So, it was a lot. I wasn't really chatting that much. Like, you mean I cried with my family,
yeah,
and I don't know. It's like one of those things where it was like I dealt with it at that time, and then I moved on because I was like, I have responsibilities. I have stuff to do.
yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it is still hard. But it was. I experienced a lot of growth from it, and I made some wonderful, wonderful music after that because I felt like I had a lot that I experienced because of her passing. So
Do you feel like the music helped in your healing journey?
it did. It was able for me to get a lot of shit off my chest.
Yeah,
A lot of shit off my chest because I mean, I was like, oh, I have a house, and I was talking about how she didn't necessarily see my first car, and
Right.
um, trying to make her proud, even though her presence isn't on this earth, but you mean her spirit is with me. I try and just make sure that I I try and make sure I be a good image
Yeah.
for her and for myself. But I don't know, man. It's a difficult topic sometimes.
You know, I definitely understand, bro. I'm just giving you that space to say whatever you need to say.
Yeah.
Um, if there's any type of advice that you could give to someone that recently lost their mother or is still struggling through the loss of their mother, is there anything that you did that's helping you get through it currently?
It's crazy because people used to say to me all the time, they like, yo, if I lost my mom, I wouldn't know what to do. Um, Lean on your community, bro. Lean on your community. Lean on your guys. Like, lean on your guys. Lean on your girls. I definitely leaned on my brothers. I definitely leaned on my sisters. It was definitely moments where I felt like I didn't know what was going on, but use your community, bro. Use the things that you love to do as not necessarily distractions, but like you can let that energy go into things that you like. I did find myself skating a lot more. I felt myself talking to my people more to make sure that they was trying to make sure I was cool, but I also just didn't want to have all of this bent up
Right.
stuff in me that I didn't necessarily know who to talk to about it, or I didn't feel safe about it. You mean a lot
Yeah.
of it was mostly um personal stuff. Like, you mean, I feel like I didn't make my mom proud and stuff like that. I didn't, I had to talk to my brothers and my sisters. If you got brothers and sisters, they might help you be able to find some guidance, depending on every
Right.
situation is different when you lose parents. Some people got trauma with their parents. Some people, they wasn't really around and then they found out they passed and now they trying to cope with, the absence, even though it's worse now with a passing. But
Right.
yeah, lean on community, lean on the things that you love, your crafts, the things that make you feel good, and explore,
Right.
explore, go see the world. It might help you. It might help you see something that might help you push forward, or it might help you
Definitely.
just find a sense of relief. And it definitely did for me.
Yeah, man. I feel like the topic of loss, no one prepares you for loss. You feel me? And there's no book about it. But it's so like unavoidable. And yeah, I'm sorry that you went through that. And I think that everyone should dive into themselves more when you experience loss, not just the loss of a parent, but a loss of anything.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times that people can lose themselves and isolate themselves when they experience loss. Did you ever feel that inclination to start to isolate yourself?
Yeah, probably because people will always ask me like, "Yo, how do you feel about this?" or like, "Yo, is it okay?" And it was just a lot of times where I'm like, bro, I don't have nothing to talk about. Like,
Right.
I don't have nothing to talk about. Like, my mind is very blank. Like, besides me just
Right.
going to work or like trying to go skate or whatever the case may be. Like, sometimes people try to pry, and when people try to pry, you don't have nothing to express to anybody, but they know that you're going through, like, they know that you're grieving,
Yeah.
so they're just trying to figure it out and see what's going on and where your head is at and make sure that you okay for the most part. So I think because I knew that I had people that cared about me, I made sure I didn't like try to put myself in a bubble, because it's not much that you can get answered, even
Right.
about yourself. Like, sometimes your peers can ask you questions that, from an outside perspective, you might not have no light on, because, you wake up and go to sleep with yourself every day.
Right.
So I definitely think my community and my friends are, um, they definitely help me not isolate. But I get it. I get it. I know what it's like to not want to be around nobody because you grieving.
How should somebody support someone that's grieving?
Um, Send a text, send a call. You don't always have to be like a backpack for somebody. Sometimes they need space too.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta think about it from oh, how would I want to be treated if I was going through something like that, and just extend
Yeah.
that to somebody that may be going through it.
Right.
I mean, it's strange because even when the coin is flipped, I still try and make sure that when people are going through stuff, like I will give them their space, like but I also like, hey, it's me. I care about you. I know you're going through something.
Yeah,
Call me if you need me. If you feel like you're about to crash out, come
for
over.
sure.
So
Just letting it be known that you're there.
yeah, like so
Yeah,
it's going to be strange. It's going to be strange sometimes to want to be there for people because they're going through something, and sometimes they might not want that, but just send it out there and then let them be able to latch onto that whenever they feel so comfortable.
for sure, bro. And I appreciate that message that you sent in too. I think that was really genuine and real as well. So I appreciate that. What's next?
Um, so I got a couple of remixes that I'm gonna put out. I'm actually looking really forward to that because I feel like we gotta bring that back. I feel like we
Yeah,
need to bring back the era of computers. We need to bring back the era of Chirac. We need to bring back that Take K to Race era where people,
yeah,
cause like
yeah.
we kind of came up like
That
that.
was
Like
tough.
people
Yeah,
with even early Lil
for
Wayne
sure.
mixtapes. Like people was doing remixes and stuff like that, and I just want to do that to have like a sense of fun. Like
Facts, facts. I think that that where you saying fun, like, is really getting lost in translation. I feel like niggas just using music as a way of just like,
they trying
you
everybody
know what
trying
I'm
to get up on a
saying?
coin,
You know
bro,
what I'm
and
saying?
like it don't always work like that, but
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
people are trying to use it for their gain. I don't think people are
yeah.
that passionate.
Bro, I think you're really like a really emotionally regulated person, bro. And I feel like, no, it's rare too, because I feel like I'm the same way. But I think people like that are the best people to make communities. You feel me? Because a lot of times what happens is people make communities and they don't know how to emotionally guide it. And that's why I feel like it always gets, like, you know how niggas be making like content houses and shit like that, and it
Yeah,
always falls off, or like somebody always beefing. I think a lot of it has to do with emotional regulation. You feel me? And I think you would be a great advocate for like communities. Like, was that something you were interested in, or you have already
um,
been in?
not sure necessarily because sometimes I'm like, it's crazy because when I had walked in, I was like, yeah, I'm just a regular guy. He was like, yeah, we gonna see, and sometimes I feel like that, not in a sense of like, I guess in a sense of physical, like what do I have to offer people,
Yeah,
but I never think about it from like a sense of like my heart or like my mind, like nothing like that. But maybe in a sense like that, maybe down the line, but I don't have anything right now to where I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, like I could specifically do this for the community, but
Nah,
I'm sure I'll find my input.
that dream, bro.
Yeah,
You
like
got a
I'm
dream.
just staying true to myself, bro. You mean
Yeah.
spreading the love and being kind.
Sometimes I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, or like this can be a debate or whatever. I
Mhm.
think sometimes our humbleness or our like way of, how can I say, like, resorting us back to just being who we are as a human can sometimes be a negative or a weakness,
Yeah.
because we might have these superpowers that we have, but you're declining them. How you feel about that?
It's crazy because I remember I was talking to my brother and my sister one time, and my brother was like, "Yeah, da 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 da," like he said something, and then like it came,
Mm.
like it happened, and my sister was like, "Well, we know what your superpower is," and then she was like, "Yeah, I know that like I might have a dream about something, and then it may come true." So she'll be like, "Well, I know what my superpower is." So they literally was just like, "Well,
Yeah,
we gotta figure out what Moody's superpower
yeah,
is," and I think I now I try not to be so not be so humble, but I try and at least like give myself a pat on the back.
for
Like I
sure,
mean, just to remind myself that I know my worth. Like
for
because
sure.
that's important. I remember being in a uh I remember being in a loop of like not being able to give myself a pat on the back, or at least like knowing my worth and knowing that I'm good at whatever it is that I'm doing. Um and I think you need to at least be able to stand on your work. You need to be
Yeah,
at least
definitely.
confident about it. So that way, whatever it is that you're doing, you don't feel like you always have to be, you
Yeah,
mean, back of the
yeah, yeah,
class.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can be front center stage, bro.
For
You
sure,
can
for sure.
be the main act. Like you just
Yeah,
have to have that in your head. Like,
yeah, bro. And I think that, first of all, what you say is so true, bro. I think that even if you might feel like you like to be behind the camera or you like to be behind the scenes, you can be in the front stage of your own stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't gotta be with everybody else.
Still.
And some like a criticism I have of you, a positive criticism I have of you. I don't like that just word. Use the just word a lot. I'm just a person. I'm just a rapper. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I don't like hearing that because you might not realize it, but it signals to me that like you don't like you don't you're not proud of who you are, even if that's wrong. You feel me? Because I can feel your energy. I know, like I feel like you are confident in it because you know what you're talking about. You're talking. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
You can communicate very effectively.
Mhm.
But when you present yourself that way, you know what I'm saying? It signals to everybody like, oh, should I listen to you?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I just feel like
It's like if you just this, then
yeah.
what am I giving my energy
Yeah,
to?
yeah, yeah. And I think that more black people like us, you know, even people that's in the real niche type fields, we need to be a little louder. I'm not saying loud like how maybe the trap shit is, whatever
Yeah,
the case
right.
is. Like I'm not saying get diamonds and shit. Like what I am saying is though, I want to see more confidence from us. You feel me? Because I struggle with the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm talking about this topic so much
Mhm.
because I'm in the same space and I'm still growing in that space just to being able to allow myself to grow into this identity. I feel like for a long time we live in our kid mind, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, where we weren't as confident or we were insecure. I think that we should start stepping into the thing where, oh, I am, not just I'm just. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That is very positive. And I also think now that you're putting it into perspective for me,
Yeah.
I do think that I'm thinking about it from I'm still trying, like I'm still doing this thing. Like I'm
Right.
not the best, or maybe you feel like you didn't get no reward for being like this or that. So you
Right.
may still feel like you don't have what's the words I'm looking for? You may feel like you don't have that much. I don't even want to say momentum because that's kind of like a word that people use for like um schematics and numbers and stuff when it comes to stuff like that. But like I don't know, man. We just can't put ourselves on the back burner.
For sure.
That we can't put ourselves on the back burner, and that's what I'm learning. And now, since I understand where I'm like, okay, like I love myself, like I have confidence in myself, like I know that I'm good at what I do. I try and make sure that I stand on it, even though if it's something new, like you just got to make sure I am taking my time with that. But thank you for that
No,
criticism.
for sure, bro. I think I look at people like Jaden or J. Cole.
Hmm.
J. Cole I feel like is really humble, but he know like who he is, you feel me?
Yeah,
That type shit, bro. You know, like, I just want to wrap up with one thing, bro. Like, if you were to stop doing this content stuff, if you were to stop doing everything right now, what would be the one message you want to leave for people in your audience?
dude, be kind, be kind. Be yourself. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care if you black, white, gay, straight, bro. Be yourself. Be confident in everything that you do, whether it's whatever. You take pride in washing your elbows in the shower, or you take pride in, I don't know, like I've just like giving foolish examples, but be yourself through and through. I had to learn that. I want everybody to be able to do that same thing. It wasn't about, trying to fit in. It wasn't about um trying to find my way. It was just about making sure that I loved myself. So be yourself. Be kind to other people. You don't never know what anybody is going through. Be the change you wish to see in the world, and stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of trouble. Don't do drugs, and find a hobby. Find a hobby.
Yes,
Find something you
sir.
love to do and stick to that, and push yourself, and you will be able to make it in whatever it is that you wish to do.
Damn, I appreciate you, Brody.
Yeah.
Just let them know where they can find you, and I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story and your messages. I feel like this was a really powerful episode. I feel like we dropped a lot of gems, bro.
Thank you, bro. I also want to say thank you for giving me the chance to even be here. I was watching like I said, I was watching the episode, and I'm like, all right, like I feel like this is a space where I belong to be able to tell my story, because you're talking
Sure.
about vulnerability, and vulnerability
Sure.
is very important to me, just because us specifically as black men, we have an issue with like being
Yeah.
able to, be transparent with people, because they think they might not understand us, or they might not see our perspective. But that is one thing that I'm leaning into with my next album. That is something that I'm doing too. I'm working on
Shit.
an album, my
Hey,
first debut album.
yo,
So
bro, let them know where they can find you on so they can listen to the album, bro.
yeah, everything is at Moody56k, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, wherever it is. You can find me on everything at Moody56k.
All right, bro, we gonna fuck with y'all in the next one. Y'all be safe. It's been Sam.